Are you enough?
Three-year-old Hannah Wesche has died a week and a half after Butler County detectives say her babysitter admits to abusing her.
On the morning of March 8, 2018, 3-year-old Hannah Jade Wesche clung tightly to her father as he prepared to leave for work. "One more kiss, Daddy. One more kiss," she begged. She didn't want to let go. 7 minutes later, her babysitter would call 911 in a panic, claiming the little girl had suddenly collapsed. But what first responders found told a completely different story.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay, my name is Lindsay. I babysit kids.
Yes.
And we just dropped her off, and all of a sudden she just passed out.
Who's passed out?
The little girl, she's 3. She fell pretty bad yesterday, and she's been fine. And then all of a sudden, we dropped off this morning, and she walked in, and she kind of passed out, and she went limp.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you with her now?
Yes, and so is her dad. I called her. Yes, hurry, she's bad. There's something wrong.
Okay. Is she awake right now?
Yeah.
No, stay on the line with me. I have to ask you a few questions while my partner gets the medics dispatched. Okay, is she breathing?
Yes, in and out.
Okay.
Yes, in and out. I don't know what's wrong.
Okay, is her breathing completely normal?
Oh, yeah, it's almost gone. Hurry, please.
Okay, lay down on her back.
Knocked out.
Lay her down on her back and let her head tilt back.
Okay, so I'm so sorry that what's happening.
Okay. Is she still unconscious, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, she's not unconscious. Her eyes are open and she's like gasping for air.
What's the matter?
Fucking shock or something.
I don't know what could be wrong with her.
I don't either. She's fine. Who just walked in the house?
She got up, brushed her teeth.
I don't understand.
Lindsay, it's okay. They're on the way.
She just walked in the house and just passed out.
Hey.
Parkinson.
Hey. Look at Daddy. Hannah. Look up.
You're okay. I love you.
Hannah.
I love you, Buttercup.
Hey.
So wake up. There we go.
Hannah Jade Wesche was born on January 11, 2015 in Hamilton, Ohio. Her entry into the world was marked not by celebration, but by pain. Her mother, Adrienne Latham, was battling heroin addiction. Hannah was born already dependent on drugs and spent the first 92 days of her life in the neonatal intensive care unit, fighting through withdrawal under the careful watch of doctors. Methadone treatments, tremors, a fragile heartbeat. For 3 long months, this tiny infant clung to life. When she was finally discharged, her father, Jason Wesche, took over as her primary caregiver. Her mother, still struggling with addiction and legal troubles, wasn't in a place to raise a child. Jason already had 2 daughters from previous relationships, and now, Hannah became the third light of his life. Jason's devotion to his children was never in question, but life was hard. Not long after Hannah was born, he lost his job and home. For a period, he was living out of his car while Hannah stayed with Jason's brother, Jeremy. For nearly 2 years, they bounced between temporary living arrangements, holding on however they could. But in 2017, things began to turn around. Jason secured steady work and managed to rent a home on Shank Road in Hamilton. It was the first time Hannah had a stable roof over her head. She was 2.5, finally beginning to thrive in a safe, loving environment. She was energetic, social, and full of life. Jason would later describe her as not shy at all, a little girl who loved to help other people and adored playing with other kids. Her laugh was bright. Her favorite character was Minnie Mouse. Her favorite food? Hot dogs with just the right amount of ketchup. Every Sunday, Hannah's grandfather, Barry Wesche, came to visit. These visits were joyful. She'd run into his arms, show off her toys, and talk about her week. But with Jason working full-time to support the family, he needed someone to care for Hannah during the day. Just 300 feet away from their home on Shank Road lived Lindsay Parton, her partner Timothy Smith, and their 2 daughters. Lindsay, 36 years old, had training in early childhood development, no criminal record, and was actively involved in her church. She was small in stature, just 4 feet 11 inches, and appeared to be a responsible figure. She worked multiple jobs: babysitting, bookkeeping for her father, and selling Mary Kay products. Her partner, Timothy, ran a construction business. In July 2017, Lindsay offered to babysit Hannah during the week. Jason agreed, paying $30-35 per day. On paper, it seemed like an ideal solution. She even posted cheerful messages on social media like, "Welcome, sweet Hannah." For a while, it looked like things were falling into place. But as the months passed, cracks began to show. Lindsay was juggling her own 2 children, multiple jobs, and other kids she was watching. Jason sometimes struggled to pay on time. In late February 2018, she suffered a miscarriage, adding emotional strain to an already stressed environment. By March, Lindsay's patience was visibly wearing thin. Normal behavior from a 3-year-old, tantrums, spills, restlessness, began to irritate her. When Hannah accidentally spilled ketchup in the toilet, Lindsay later admitted to police that she slapped the child across the head in frustration. Around the same time, Hannah's grandfather started noticing bruises during his Sunday visits. When he gently asked her what had happened, the little girl answered with one word: babysitter. No one knew then just how serious those words were. On March 6th, Hannah had a minor fall while playing outside. She ended up with visible bruises on her face. The next day, March 7th, she reportedly fell off a toy train, adding to the injuries. But behind the scenes, something more disturbing was happening. That same day, Lindsay searched Google 5 times for ways to remove or conceal bruises. Some of those searches were later deleted. It raised a chilling question. Were all of Hannah's injuries really from falls?
Have you seen her come to the house with bruises on her face? Yeah. Before the accident yesterday? Yes. So she had bruises on her face this week? Yeah. Where?
Before she fell off the train?
Like one was like right here, and then she had one on her chin.
It was the one in the chin from when she fell on the ground.
That got worse. There was one on her chin before that, and then when she fell on the gravel.
So there's bruising before.
Yeah, it got worse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly where she fell and on her chin. Her hand didn't even hit. Like what she was doing, and I can show you how she was running like this, and then looked back and went like that. Literally.
Did she slide? Or?
No, it was just bam, bam. Yeah. She got right back up and kept running. I said, "Hey, are you okay? I'm okay."
So all these small little bruises and the ones on the chin.
Yes, I know about those right there.
And even the one on
yes, and I know the one on the chin. Yep.
And the neck.
Yep. Yep. That's all this.
From that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all
So,
this.
I mean,
The next, it
that's
was, yes.
up under her chin like that, so
Well,
she was extended pretty far.
she went like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And on the toilet Wednesday, I noticed that, I was like, wow, man, those rocks got you. And I even told him that. I said, the rocks look like they punctured her chest.
Yeah.
And they're big rocks.
So what was she wearing shirt-wise when that happened?
She just had on a regular shirt. It was
Like a t-shirt?
just a long sleeve, like cotton.
T-shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was warm.
Okay.
It was like 65.
I didn't actually see the train, I haven't seen the train. How tall is the train?
About that high off the ground. And she was standing up on it,
Yeah.
doing the surfing thing.
Yeah.
And it went out from the side and she went down like that. Her arms back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And smacked.
Smack the right side of the face.
And I freaked out, ran out there. I'm like, are you okay? She jumped back up and she said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, let's go back on it, let's sit down really far.
What was she complaining?
Headache. I noticed that she had like a little hickey looking thing on her eye.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when she came in there, I was like, oh, it's starting to get black.
And you told Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Wednesday.
I usually call him during the day. If some, like I've had once before, like
So Thursday,
a long time ago.
when you saw her, it was a dramatic worsening of the injury, right?
What day?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, because this would have been the day after she.
Honestly, when she walked in Thursday morning, and when he put her down, I like looked at her face. I thought she looked better.
Oh, okay.
And I said, because after I put the ice on, I Googled bruising, how to make it feel better or get better, and it said to put vapor rub will cool it down, and salt will help break up the red blood cells.
And when did you Google that? Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday after it happened.
Okay.
What were you on when you Googled that?
My
Computer
Google
or your
app,
phone?
my phone, my
Your
Google
phone.
app, yeah. So it said Vicks vapor rub and salt, and so I put that on there. So when he walked in, I was like, sorry, she smells like Vicks vapor rub. And so when she came Thursday, I was like, oh, it seems like it worked a little bit. I thought she looked better.
That Thursday morning began like any other. At 6:52 a.m., Jason texted Lindsay. Getting ready to head over. Hannah was cheerful, asking to ride in the back seat and begging for one more kiss from her father. It was more insistent than usual. Jason later said he would forever wonder whether, somehow, she knew. At 6:55, Jason walked Hannah into Lindsay's garage, wrapped in a blanket. They briefly chatted about the snow and the Vapo rub Lindsay had been applying to the child's bruises. Jason agreed it seemed to help. He handed over his daughter and left for work. He never saw her alive again. At approximately 7 a.m., Hannah entered the home with Lindsay. She asked for a donut and went to sit on the couch. According to Lindsay's own confession, the child began to cry. She didn't want her father to leave. That's when Lindsay snapped. She grabbed the 32-pound child and violently shook her, hard enough that Hannah's head was whipped back and forth. She squeezed her, lifted her again, and slammed her to the concrete floor. The force of impact, according to forensic doctors, was equivalent to a fall from a second-story building. At 7:02 a.m., Lindsay dialed 911. Sobbing into the phone, she claimed Hannah had suddenly collapsed. When paramedics arrived, they found Hannah unconscious on the couch, barely breathing. Her pupils were dilated, her eyes moving aimlessly. Bruises covered her face, chest, and under her chin. Firefighter Evan Reedy was the first on scene. He later told investigators that he knew immediately this child was in critical condition, and that the environment didn't feel safe. When Hannah arrived at Fort Hamilton Hospital, Dr. Ann Nguyen immediately recognized the urgency. The child wasn't breathing on her own. Her pupils were non-reactive, her tiny body covered in visible bruises, and behind her eyes, internal bleeding. Within minutes, she was intubated and airlifted to Cincinnati Children's Hospital. What the trauma team found there was devastating. Hannah had extensive bleeding in her brain, so severe that her brain had actually shifted inside her skull. Her eyes showed hemorrhaging in all 3 layers. Deep bruises were found on the back of her head, some only visible after her hair was shaved, others only after the scalp was peeled back during the autopsy. Dr. Dorothy Dean, the forensic pathologist who performed the examination, described the injuries as tremendous, the kind only seen in high-speed car crashes or multi-story falls, not a living room accident. There was no doubt. This was not the result of a minor fall or seizure. At first, Lindsay Parton acted heartbroken, sobbing on the 911 call, repeating that Hannah had fallen yesterday, telling detectives she had been completely normal that morning. She asked for a donut. She sat on the couch. Then she just collapsed, Lindsay said. She suggested maybe Hannah had a seizure, or maybe the falls earlier in the week had caused more damage than anyone realized.
I've never seen that before, so I don't know. But I feel like, because the way when she looked up at me and said, buddy, can I have donut and couch, and went to take her jacket off, and she fell on that side, the other side, and there was like a pink cart laying there, and I think she scraped her face on that, but I'm not sure.
When she fell unconscious?
Yes, when she collapsed in front of me, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But
She wasn't on top of anything, she was walking.
well, so what happened, so say this is the door.
Yeah.
She walks right here, there was like, you know, one of those push carts that you can like serve things off of, and it's like a cart. Yeah. And she fell like that, and there was a wheel, I think she hit that.
Okay.
But I don't
She
know
wasn't
that.
on top of anything. She wasn't climbing or nothing.
Yeah, she literally just collapsed in front of me.
Okay.
What, exactly how did you move her and into what position did you move her
I
into?
really wasn't sure what was happening, so I kind of picked her up, and I was like, Hannah, are you okay? And I probably did the wrong thing, because I wasn't sure what was happening. What's wrong? Wake up, like, what's going on with you?
So you down?
I just bent down, yeah, and I'm like, well, first I said, Hannah, are you okay? Get up. I thought maybe she'd like tripped over her pants or something, because sometimes she'll try to like take off her shoes while she's standing up.
Yeah.
And she didn't get up, and I'm like, are you okay? What's up? And she was like not saying anything to me. And so I picked her up, and I'm like, Hannah, I probably shook her, like, are you okay? And I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. I don't know if I shook her. I just was like, and I was holding her, like, Hannah, are you okay? And then so I laid her down, and that's when I called Jason. And I said, Jason, there's something wrong with Hannah. She's not waking up. I don't know what happened. She just walked in the door and collapsed. I said, you need to come up here now.
So were you holding her
Yeah.
at that time?
Well, no, I was.
You were down?
Yeah, I laid her down. I wasn't holding her very long, but like I didn't understand why she wasn't coming to. Like,
Yeah, and you're shaking her to get her to come to. How are you shaking her?
not shaking her, just like, Hannah, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay?
Trying to
Like,
wake her? Okay.
So when you're down, you were down on one knee, two knees? Over top of her?
yeah. I mean, I was down,
You
yeah.
had both arms under her? Or did you have her shoulders?
When I was holding her, I was holding her like this. So when I laid her down, I wasn't holding her at all. I was on the phone. And then when I got phone, you know, I was like, I don't even know what I was doing, to be honest. And then he got there, gasping for air.
Like how?
And I would say every couple seconds, and when I would say her name, she would look at me.
Yeah.
She was responding to me. I just couldn't get her to like say anything. And then Jason got there and picked her up off my floor and took her out to the couch in the garage and laid her there and waited for the paramedics to come around the back.
But investigators had already spoken with doctors, and the doctors were clear. These injuries were recent. Extremely recent. They didn't line up with any earlier fall. So on March 9th, detectives called Lindsay in for a second interview, this time with photos of Hannah's injuries. Slowly, her story began to unravel. First, Lindsay said Hannah hit her head on a concrete step. Then, that she had accidentally dropped her. Then, maybe she shook her a little after the fall. But the investigators didn't stop. Eventually, Lindsay confessed. I got mad, she said. I just slapped her upside the head.
Her head was going down towards the ground.
Yeah, she smacked her chin.
Her chin right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the problem. There's no mark directly on the point of her chin. We're looking
There's
at
very little to no bruising right here in the middle. It's on the left
Yeah.
Yeah.
and on the right.
Like I said, I was far away too. I was right behind him, so.
And then up underneath.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when people fall, you're gonna have bruising on the sharp points. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be this point, none here, and then some here. Or if you were over here, you're gonna have some here.
And she could have, I don't know, I
Or
honestly,
you have some
I was
here.
just coming out of the door and
If
then.
you fall straight forward, you're not gonna have bruising over here, and none in the middle.
Yeah.
And then
Bruising would have been here, and up underneath there would have been no bruising.
that's a soft spot that your body naturally protects. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
The way your body.
That's why it's tucked in.
It's tucked in. And that's where we're getting, that's why we wanted to come down and fill in some of these holes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, I've been pretty honest with you this morning, a lot of these aren't adding up to a fall in the gravel.
Yeah.
With it being over here
Mhm.
and down here, and then these, I mean, she would have had to fall in, like in some perfectly aligned gravel to get.
And here's another thing on the chest. Once again, you don't have to be a doctor, you've got to be a mom.
Yeah.
Like that, okay? You see that bruise?
Mm-hmm.
What's that kind of look like?
Is it older?
Older, yeah. Older. There's some yellowing all through here, and then see this here?
Mm-hmm.
That looks, what would you say?
Older.
To me, that looks brand new.
Oh, okay.
That is newer than even.
Okay, yeah, see, I don't know.
So what it kind of looks like is that these are all from a different time.
Yeah, and like I said, she is well. I don't think that she's been. I really don't think that she's been hurt.
You know?
No, I honestly don't. In my gut intuition, I don't think that he's a bad guy. I really don't. I think that he is a simple guy.
Here's one thing that this is from a senior neurologist. Okay?
Yeah.
He's telling us that the brain injury that she sustained was absolutely not 24 hours prior or even an hour prior. The injury that caused this, or the incident that caused this brain injury was immediate.
That is, I have no idea.
So she wouldn't have, if Dad would have, I don't know, knocked her out Thursday morning before she dropped you off, let me ask you this, was she crying or anything like that?
No, but she didn't want to kind of like let him go. She was, I don't know.
She didn't want to let him go?
Yeah, it was a little,
Okay.
yeah, she kept wanting to hug on him.
Yeah, but she wanted donuts.
But well, we got inside.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever happened, it wasn't Thursday and it wasn't Wednesday for sure.
That's
where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, we've got these world-renowned neurologists saying, no, this didn't happen Thursday. It surely didn't happen Wednesday. This happened immediately. This injury happened, and she went down.
She literally walked in.
And that's what these people do, obviously.
Yeah, no,
I told you, what we know from yesterday, everything we know, we're telling the doctor, this is what we're being told. Doctor says, nah. It was a hit.
They see thousands of these.
He said, doctor says it was a hit, and she went down.
I would never hit a kid. I don't even spank my own.
Someone in that house, I'm going to be completely honest with you, someone in that house, after Dad dropped her off, injured this kid to the point where she's unconscious. Or a dramatic fall, or something, or some sort of accident.
No, I believe you, but
an accidental drop, something absolutely happened while, when she walked in the door to the time she fell. That's the time frame that there's no doubt. It's not a question of, well, maybe it happened, there's no doubt. It absolutely happened during this time. And the only person that was there was a couple of kids and you.
Yeah.
That's what we're running into.
So, we can understand if, God, I cannot imagine. I've got kids similar ages to all these kids.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if I would have accidentally done something to cause this.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
If I hurt anybody, I would never.
Listen now.
Yeah.
It's completely human nature to, this is a big deal, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's human nature to be like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But you do.
I really don't.
Whether it was an accident or not,
Yeah.
something happened under your care in about a 5-minute span. We've absolutely got it narrowed down to that. And by you saying, that's kind of not cutting it because...
I know, but I don't know what else to say.
And I think, you called for help.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not like you were trying to hide anything.
No, I was not.
Something happened. Something happened. Okay? happened that we're not getting told?
Well, see, yeah, we're not, it's not if something happened. Something happened. So we're beyond nothing happened. We're beyond that. Something happened. And the only person who knows what happened is you. Unfortunately, she
can't tell us right now.
No, I know.
No, she can't.
So that's
So we're beyond, listen, we're beyond that.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're
There's
saying.
no point talking about Wednesday, okay? Because Wednesday absolutely did not happen. Anything Wednesday. This happened in about a 5-minute span.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it happened when she was in your custody, okay? Was it an accident? I mean, she's done something. She's fallen, she's been dropped, something.
I did not do anything to her.
We're not saying you did.
No, I know. But no, honestly, she did.
But we're just saying you know, okay?
I mean, you would have seen her, you saw her collapse. It was immediate that she collapsed after this.
You said you never lost eye contact with her. With the time she walked in, you followed her in, and she collapsed. That's not possible. That's not possible. I believe she walked in.
Yeah, she did.
I did.
Yeah.
I believe all that. But as soon as you guys went into the house, something happened. There's no doubt, listen to me.
I know.
There's no doubt that something happened. Something absolutely happened, okay? We're not going back to Wednesday. We're not going back to the morning that Dad had her. We're beyond even that. It's narrowed down by brain surgeons that it happened right before she hit the ground. That's when it happened. And you just told us, and you told us several times, that you were looking at her. It's not like she walked around the corner and you came around and was like, what the hell happened?
No,
you had eye contact with her the whole time.
Yes, sir.
But something caused her to collapse. She didn't just collapse.
Traumatic brain injury.
That's what this is.
Traumatic.
Okay? You called for help.
Yes.
Okay? So,
As soon as she
There's no doubt in our minds that this was an accident.
Yeah.
This is a horrible, horrible accident.
Call Thursday morning.
This is a horrible accident.
I asked
And you have to tell us, listen to me,
listen.
listen, and you have to tell us exactly what that accident was. Because she's still being treated, okay? Now, your treatment can go either way, whether she's hit the back of the head with a baseball bat, which I absolutely don't believe she was, or whether she was dropped, or whatever she hit her head on, or got some sort of whiplash somehow.
it was instant.
It was absolutely instant.
Okay? So, and if you believe that it's instant, you're agreeing that, okay, she fell because she got hit. Or something happened. Something caused this, okay, in her head. She fell because of that. All right? What caused that?
What accident caused this?
She fell on the door and hit the concrete step.
When?
Thursday morning.
Walking into the house?
Yes.
Tell us about it. Take us through it.
Details.
So when I opened up the door, she was coming through and she slipped on that concrete step and the metal part. She hit the metal part on her eye.
Which door?
The
back
one,
door
yeah,
into the house.
going into the house, the carpet. And so I got her back up, and she stood up and looked up at me and did say, I want donut and couch, and then collapsed.
We appreciate you being honest. I mean, it's an accident.
You called for help.
This is my fault. I
Well,
should have
no,
protected
it's not-
her.
it's not
Should have
your
let her
fault.
fall. I should have been holding her.
It's not your fault. But here's the thing. You've gone through every single one of these injuries, and you had no problems telling us about these.
I felt like it was
And even the injury that you were thinking put her in the situation she was in, you told us about that, no problem. What's the difference? What's the difference in this injury and the one you were there for both of them? If you thought this one put her in the hospital,
I didn't.
why
I
were
thought
you hiding the
Wednesday.
fact
I
that-
didn't. I thought Wednesday did because she
Yeah,
smacked
you
her.
that's still, so you're under, you
your-
own this one. You said this one happened when you were watching her, okay?
You own this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you believe this stuff, it's instant, you're agreeing that, okay, she fell.
You own
You called for help. Why lie about this one, about her falling?
Because I thought it was, I thought it was my fault, and I thought she was having a seizure, and I didn't want Jason to be mad at me, that she slipped and fell and I wasn't holding her, and I was trying to grab her blanket from her.
Here's the thing.
And I thought it was my fault that she was having a seizure. I thought she was having a seizure. I was scooping at her mouth.
Okay.
So go through that again. Go through that
I
exactly.
opened up the door, and I'm like, can I go in? I'll take your jacket or blanket. And when I went to take her blanket, it slipped on the blanket, got underneath her foot, and on that one step, and she hit that metal part. Right.
So on the threshold at the bottom of the door?
Yeah, the metal part that goes
Okay.
across.
And she hit what side?
The left side.
Okay.
Right.
She's what, this tall?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what did this.
Listen, she's this tall, right?
No.
This tall.
No,
She's this tall.
Yeah.
And the steps are,
She
it's a step
slipped
up
back.
house.
She really did hit the metal part.
So is there a step and then you step into the house?
Yes.
So
She
okay.
hit the top part, the upper part.
Yes.
Okay. So then she gets up. Is the stuff about, do you want to go back to bed or what? Is all that true?
Yeah. She got back up and
She
looked
got
at me
up.
and said, "Dinner and I want
Asked
to
for
eat a
a
match."
match.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
collapsed. And they collapsed. Okay.
And I thought she was having a seizure. I didn't think that
Let-
hurt
let-
her.
let-
I thought
listen,
someone had
listen,
taken her.
listen. That's not what happened.
It is, I promise.
No, that's not what happened.
It is.
The doctor said when this injury occurred, she was out.
Instant.
She wasn't. She
This
was
is
back up. I am being completely honest.
that's not what
She
happened.
wouldn't have been able to talk.
That's not what happened. There was a more severe accident that happened that just like this accident, you're afraid to tell us for some reason. Okay?
I'm not afraid to tell you anything.
Well, you were afraid to tell us that.
Well,
we
because I
got
thought
through that. We got all right.
lost our seizure.
And we got through that, and we're gonna get through this.
Get through this.
Okay?
Okay.
Because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So tell us.
That's exactly, I swear.
That's not what happened.
It is. She slipped and fell.
No.
Okay, I did not.
She didn't fall 12 inches and traumatically bruise her.
She falls.
To the point where they have to cut a piece of her skull off to relieve pressure. That's not what happened. Especially on the bones right here are extremely weak. In order to do that much damage, they're weak for a reason. No, all of them. They're weak for a reason.
Oh.
They break because they're like crumple zones in a car. That's why they break. No broken bones here. Okay?
Yeah.
That absolutely did not do that. Even the surgeon said that. Okay? So that's not what happened. So tell us what really happened.
That's really what
No,
happened.
that's not what happened. We're beyond that. We're beyond that.
I don't know what else to
Listen, you
say.
tell us that she's on top of a toy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and she falls face first.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah.
Gets up and goes on about her business.
She did.
But nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the next day, she falls into a step that's probably this tall up off the ground.
Mhm.
She's this tall. That's what, a foot
Head
above?
first. Head first.
Yeah, she slipped in.
Okay?
You have kids.
Yeah.
We've had kids.
Yeah.
You really think that her falling 12 inches, hitting her eye, is going to make her brain swell?
No, that's what I don't understand.
Right, because that's
That
not
was something more traumatic.
something more.
I believe you, but I did not hurt her.
We're not saying you hurt her. We're saying you were there for the accident.
Yeah, that was the
Okay? Because that's
accident.
exactly what happened, and that was not the accident. That's not what did this. We know that without a doubt. Okay? It didn't happen. She has no broken bones in her face. Okay?
I mean, this is a common thing to get broken when somebody's hit
Right.
or falls, okay? That's not broken.
Breaks easily to protect your brain.
Yeah,
Okay?
I thought it, I
Yeah.
honestly
And there's no
thought.
broken bones in her face. So that's not what happened. Okay? You know, we've come a long way. We got past that. Okay?
Yeah.
You're right there. You're right there. Thank you.
When I opened the door, I dropped her. And I slipped and fell.
Tell us what happened.
So I slipped on her blanket when I opened the door, and we both went down, and she hit that concrete step really hard
Where at? On her head?
on her face.
Where?
Yeah, 'cause I was, holding her on the left side. When I slipped, it hit her side. I actually hit my head on the door coming down, but she smacked her face, her head really hard on the concrete step.
Okay, and then what happened?
We got up. I tried to get her to come to, and couch out in the garage, not inside, but she did. When we first walked in, and Jason walked out, and she said,
So now you're saying she has that before?
yeah.
Okay.
And I fell, and she fell.
Where were you at when you fell?
Against the door, trying to get the door open. I was holding her, the blanket was kind of like falling because he had handed her to me, and I put her down, and then I picked her, no, he put her down, and when he walked out the door, I picked her up with the blanket, and it got tangled up, and when I opened up the door, it got tangled, and I slipped.
So are you on the concrete floor, or are you on the step, or are you on the top
I
step?
was getting ready, I was trying to step up to go inside, I lost my balance. The blanket got underneath my foot, and we both fell. She smacked her face on that concrete step, and I hit the door. And I tried to brace her and myself, but I lost my balance.
And then
She
what?
hit really hard. Then I got up and tried to get her to come to. I was checking her, and I said, Hannah, are you okay? Get up. I did say that, Hannah, are you okay with something? She didn't respond.
Were you still in the garage, kind of in the
Kind of
doorway?
in the doorway, yeah. Right where I said I was. Just didn't want her to be hurt. I thought she was having a seizure. I didn't think she was really hurt.
Oh, her brain was going through some trauma. That's what, the brain fights to keep going with.
I knew better than to try to carry her around with this blanket. I didn't have any clothes on under my robe, and I was like... Billy was inside waiting for us. I didn't know in a hurry.
So why would you hide that?
Because I didn't want to be in trouble.
Why would you be in
I don't
trouble?
know, because I babysit kids at home. I don't want my husband to get sued. Now I don't want to babysit kids anymore. Or want to be yelled at by him, or I don't know. I'm a goody two-shoes. I've never been in trouble, never done anything bad in my life. I would never hurt a kid. I didn't think that she was that hurt. I don't know, she was just having a seizure, and I even turned her on her side and did the mouth thing.
How long did you try to get her to come to before you called her dad?
I mean, not even 2 seconds. I mean, it was immediate, but I knew something was wrong. I thought it was a seizure, like I said. So I called him and I said, she collapsed. I didn't want him to think that I hurt his kid. Because I slept really hard. I actually tried to catch myself in her at the same time, and I bruised my hand right here.
Okay. All right. We really appreciate
I'm
you.
so sorry.
Okay.
I shouldn't have carried her inside. She didn't want her dad to leave, so I felt bad. I was trying to hug her and make her Daddy will be back. I love her so much.
All right. Now tell us, we really appreciate you being honest, okay? Now tell us the truth about the chin in the neck.
I honestly don't know anything about that. I really thought it was the gravel. I really did. I believe you, but I had not seen that before the gravel. I really hadn't ever. I noticed it Wednesday when we were going potty that morning.
Tuesday when she fell on the rocks. You didn't notice any bruising prior, right?
No.
So what about Wednesday?
Wednesday morning is when I noticed.
Noticed what?
The bruise on her chin and on her chest.
Okay. Do you know what touch DNA is?
No.
Okay. So anytime someone touches something, okay, like right now, I just let billions of skin cells, okay? You can get them from fingernails, you can get them from anything you touch, okay? And you can transfer them from person to person, okay? All it takes is 7 skin cells to be right to be tested. Okay? So, like I said, when you touch something, you leave billions of them, okay? Is there any reason at all that your DNA or any of your skin cells or fingernail cells or anything at all would be inside this specific wound?
Probably because I did the vapor rub and all that stuff on her. Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Okay.
Yeah. I did the vapor rub and the salt, and I even did my essential oils, and yeah, I'm sure there is.
Okay. Do you know if DNA will survive petroleum jelly?
No idea. No idea.
Back to under the chin here. This absolutely did not happen from a fall on a flat driveway. No. Okay?
Yeah. I believe you.
Okay. So what happened to her neck?
I do not know. I thought it was the gravel in the fall.
We remember we went through this and you told us how you agreed with us, that some of this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's the exact same size as the fresh ones. And they look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So either has she fallen on that very same gravel a couple of times, different stages?
It could be. I don't know. We had gravel at his house too.
Okay. But you said, remember you said that he had just put this new gravel on
He just finished the barn and, yep.
So it
Well,
being the same.
they do the gravel a lot
Okay.
because of the
But,
trucks.
I mean, this, you know, you said that these are different stages of healing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Tell us about those.
I think you know about these two.
I don't know about this.
I think you do.
I don't. I honestly don't know.
I'm positive you do.
Why would you think I know about them?
Because you just lied to us. How many times?
Well, you are. We can't give you how many times to tell us what happened in the fall. Okay?
Can you see how that doesn't look good?
Yeah.
And we understand. You called for help. Okay? We're not getting mad at you or anything. We just want to know what happened. We want to know everything that happened. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how the fingers, these things happen.
We're getting calls from all these doctors
Yeah.
saying, no. And we're saying, yeah, that's what's happening. No.
Yeah. That's what it does.
That's not what's going
This
on.
morning, the doctors called and said, tell us what happened, what you really told.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. I really don't.
And here's another thing, okay? Dad obviously, every time she comes home with a new scrape or bruise, Dad asks her, what happened?
Yeah.
I know you told him,
Yeah.
but he's doing what any other dad would say.
Of course.
So what does she tell him, Dad, whenever he says, what happened here, what happened there, what happened here? What's the one word or one thing she would say?
I don't know.
Babysitter.
And even the lady, who else watches her?
Sandy. Yeah. What?
She asked,
And she asked who did
where
that.
are you getting all this
Where are you
stuff
getting these?
from? Babysitter. So now we've got,
At the babysitter.
So look.
I wouldn't.
Well,
I don't. I mean, I don't even.
Let me ask you this. Earlier today, I heard, did you go to college?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you go to college for?
Teaching.
Teaching. Did you get to teach?
No, my dad owns a trucking company, so I stayed on as his secretary.
Okay. And like I said.
But I did teach preschool and daycare,
And I saw a slice of your life this morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Kids screaming, it's loud.
Hey,
Things get
Very
hectic.
loud.
Okay. Are you ever mad at the way that turned out?
No, I love things.
I'm not saying you don't love your kids.
No, yeah, no.
But do you ever wish, you went to college to teach.
Yeah, no, I don't. I want to be home with my kids. That's why I wanted to be with TJ, because he wanted a mom to stay home with kids. Yeah.
Have you ever lost it? Did you ever get mad?
No. I mean,
That's
I yell at TJ a lot.
I did this
I
morning.
do, yeah.
I don't mean it like, I don't
mad.
remember. Yeah, oh yeah.
and you scream and you yell and you stomp around. You might throw a rag or something, okay?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course I get
Things build up.
It's called a fit of rage.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of them, yes, I don't mean it like I'm driving, but like not. And
Remember when we talked about this?
Mhm.
Okay. A lot of these are consistent with what we've seen before. Okay. With kids being hurt,
Yeah,
not by falls, not by running into things. Okay. This is not her falling on gravel. Okay. This is not her falling on her tears.
Plastic toy.
Okay. Reasons that she has all these. Okay. And we think you know why she has them.
Listen,
Okay.
Hannah has been abused. No doubt about it, and it's not her father.
Have you grabbed her ears?
yeah, probably.
What do you mean? Probably.
I've never, no, I don't know, I never hit her.
Listen, you are at home for 12 plus hours a day with a kid that's not yours and 3 other ones. You cannot tell me that does not drive you bonkers.
I mean, yeah,
I
I
get
don't
it.
do fits of rage, like
All it
what
takes
he
is,
did.
that's the only thing that can explain
All it takes is one or two.
a fit of rage.
If you lost your temper, you lost your temper. It's not like these kids come over so you can hurt them. We don't think
I'm
that's
sitting here, a demented
Okay.
woman who's like, yeah, bring her over here so I can beat the shit out of her. That's not what we're saying.
No.
A fit of rage.
Okay? And
That's what's done this.
what's going on here? Tell us about it.
You've been honest with us so far.
Yeah.
Why stop?
Tell us about it.
Oh.
Whatever you're thinking, just speak it.
I really don't know what to say.
Start with these. How did these get here?
I didn't do that, I don't know.
Okay.
I really didn't do that, I don't
How
know.
does this happen?
I slapped her upside the head.
With what?
My hand.
Open, closed?
Yeah, open.
What caused that?
She took all of the, I don't know why she was in trouble. She took all the ketchup out and squirted it into the toilet while I wasn't looking.
That's frustrating.
And I'm like, Hannah!
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
What else had she done that day? Is this like a culmination of things building up?
She did.
What day was that?
Was it
This
last
week?
week? This week?
This week? Early this week?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I didn't think that hurt her. I really didn't.
Well, they not have. I mean, kids are tough. They're not, they trust me. You know,
Yeah.
as well as anybody else does, you're very resilient and you're not going to know.
Tell us what that
On the
was.
chin.
I really did not hit her on the chin. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
saying anything.
Right, yeah, I
Does
don't,
she talk back to you?
no,
She doesn't?
not one bit.
Does she not listen to you? Like, if
She
she
actually does look.
if she's watching a show and you tell her to do something, does she not listen?
No, she listens.
How do you get her attention when she doesn't listen?
Hannah, you gotta listen to Buddy.
Does she not eat well?
No, she eats great. She eats all day long.
Okay, then tell us what happened here.
Tell us about that.
This was not a fall in the driveway.
It's not.
We know what this is consistent with.
Yeah.
Look at me. We do this for a living.
No, I know.
Okay?
I
This
know.
is not the first 3-year-old that we're staring at pictures about, okay? We know exactly what caused this, okay? Exactly. It's not a fall. And you know what caused this. Just like you knew what caused this, okay? So what caused this?
I smacked her on the chin for doing ketchup. That was the same thing.
Alright, so this is the same incident.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. Because this is not a smack. I just want to tell you right now, this is not a deep bone contusion from an open-handed smack. Okay? Knowing that.
I didn't.
No,
I wasn't like that.
listen. Knowing that we know that, what happened here?
The same thing. It was the same incident.
Tell us, though, what happened, these specific bruises.
When I caught her doing the ketchup, I took it away and I put her on the potty because I think she had to go pee anyway. I said, Hannah, you can't do the ketchup. I just slapped her on the side of the head and went like that.
Close.
Yeah, like that.
How many times? Don't say once.
Yeah.
Is it because the bruise?
Yeah,
Bruise?
yeah.
Okay. Does he give you permission to discipline?
Yeah.
I mean, spank and stuff? Okay.
I don't really think. I don't even know where I was mad that
So
day.
these were closed fists, like uppercuts?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was an open-handed smack? Was it really open-handed?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Now, the bruises on the chest.
Honestly,
Listen.
I believe you.
Do you see the pattern here?
Yes.
Deny, deny, deny.
How about this big one down here?
I did not touch her chest. I'm definitely telling you the most positive truth. I did not touch her chest.
So look.
But I was mad that day.
Let's look at this, okay?
And we also, sorry to interrupt, we also know exactly what these are.
Yeah.
They're, in all these cases, they're consistent. I mean, you can literally take 100 of them and put them up on the board right here, and they're all going to have the same exact bruises. And anyone who knows what they're talking about or what they're looking at will say, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this.
That's up to you, okay? We want to know what happened.
The most incriminating detail, however, wasn't what she said in front of the detectives. It was what she said when they left the room. Alone in the interrogation room, unaware she was being recorded, Lindsay muttered to herself, "I'm going to prison for the rest of my life." At that point, she hadn't been shown the full medical reports. She hadn't officially confessed. But deep down, she knew. The trial of Lindsay Parton began in April 2019 and lasted 8 days. The courtroom was emotionally divided. On one side, Hannah's family, wearing bright blue shirts that read, "God's Angel Forever." On the other, Lindsay's supporters, many still unable to believe she could be capable of such a crime. The prosecution presented a powerful case. Lindsay's taped confession. Her Google searches the day before Hannah's death. How to get rid of bruises, searched 5 times and partially deleted. Her panicked whisper in the interrogation room. The 911 call, where Jason Wesche can be heard crying, "Breathe, Hannah, please breathe." Then came the medical testimony. Doctor after doctor took the stand, describing the scale of trauma. Dr. Young testified that Hannah's eye injuries were worse than he'd seen in most car accidents. Dr. Kerr explained that her brain injuries were so severe that she would have lost function instantly. There was no way she was walking and talking after it happened.
Is it true that when you testified on direct examination that you told this jury under oath that you felt that Hannah was unsafe?
Yes.
All right. And that you sought to get her out from the garage environment?
Correct.
Because she was unsafe?
Correct.
Okay. And the reason that you concluded that she was unsafe is because the dad was, according to your report, shaking her? Right?
That is not the reason. We felt as a whole, the situation as a whole is very concerning. That's why we got her out.
Okay.
It's not just him.
All right. In your report, you talk about the father shaking, right?
Correct.
The father telling her to wake up, yes?
Yes.
The father hovering,
Yes.
the father being excluded from the EMS because he was being a disruption,
Correct.
all right?
Which is normal
Where-
for everybody.
Okay, thank you for that. There is nothing else in this report, this narrative, that talks about safety and unsafety besides what I just read.
Correct.
Okay, which means there's nothing about the defendant, Lindsay Parton, the babysitter in this case, acting out in a way that made you conclude.
I did say she was
Let
talking.
me finish. There's nothing in this report that you wrote, that you collaborated about, that indicated that my client, in any circumstances, acted poorly, so for you to draw the conclusion that she was acting in a way that made her unsafe, Hannah unsafe. Isn't that true?
Correct.
Thank you. And would you agree with me that the first and only statement about bruises occurs where my finger is?
Okay.
And that reads, first assessment found multiple bruises all over patient's body. Patient has sunken in eye sockets, also bruised, all bruises in multiple stages of healing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't, for whatever reason, you didn't describe the location of the bruises on the body, did you?
Correct. There's a lot.
Okay. But you had the opportunity to write it down, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to write it down when it was fresh in your mind.
Correct.
Okay, and that wasn't done.
It was done as I saw fit.
Okay. It was done as you saw fit, correct?
Correct.
All right. But there's not, in this report, an evaluation of the locations of the bruises on her body, just a general statement about bruises.
Correct.
Okay. And you do mention that the bruises that you observed were in multiple stages of healing.
Yep, I do.
Okay. But there's no depiction in your narrative about which bruise appears to be fresher and which bruise does not appear to be fresh.
Correct.
You were on scene at the garage at 7:14. You're at the patient at 7:14, and you left at 7:25.
Correct.
All right. So you had 11 minutes there in the garage.
Correct.
And you've described what you've done, what actions you and your partner performed in those 11 minutes. And one of the things that you did was take a history, correct?
Took vital signs. We didn't have time to obtain a history. No one gave us a history on the patient as far as medical history prior to this.
Okay. Well, you did take a brief history in those 11 minutes, correct? Because there is a statement attributed to both the father and the babysitter, my client, with respect to bruising.
Right. We took a brief history of that day, nothing prior to that. When you say history, I'm thinking of patient's entire medical history. That's
Okay.
what I'm trained to know. And that's what's told to me when I think of history.
Gotcha. Well, let's look at what the report says. Can you all see that? Is it big enough? So, beginning right there. PT, that stands for patient?
Correct.
Okay. Patient's father on scene.
Correct.
And babysitter stated patient fell yesterday and hit her head hard and had complaining of a headache since the fall, stated the babysitter. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So this was a fall yesterday.
That's what we were told.
Okay. So when you just described the statement that you took about that particular day, that's an error because you took a statement about what occurred the day before.
Okay.
Right?
The history of this particular incident, not other medical history.
Right. So the statement that we just read about a fall and yesterday and hitting head hard, that came from both the patient, or no, strike that. That came from both Lindsay, the babysitter, correct?
Correct.
And the father.
No.
Okay. That just came from the
Patient's father on scene and babysitter stated patient fell yesterday. I had simply said patient's father is on scene.
Okay. So that was a statement that was attributed to her.
Correct.
And it was a statement that was made in the presence of the father.
Correct.
And the father didn't object.
I don't know what he said. I wasn't focused on him as far as what he was saying to somebody else. Just what he was trying, saying to us.
You didn't hear him object.
No.
You didn't hear him say, that's not what happened.
No, because he didn't know either.
Okay.
He told us he didn't know either.
All right. So there was a statement from the father that's not in this report.
Don't see where that's relevant.
Okay. Well, you don't get to choose what's relevant or not. What I'm trying to decide is, strike that. You got one statement from Lindsay, correct?
Correct.
All right. You're now telling me that there were other statements that you heard from the father that aren't depicted in your report.
These statements, he just told us that he's like, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
No, he didn't say much else aside from what you see where he said, wake up, wake up.
Where?
In the narrative.
Okay. What statements attributed to him?
The hovering over, just wake up. Father continued to hover.
Okay. Well, those aren't statements by the father. Those are behaviors that you observed, hovering and shaking.
I said, just wake up. I didn't say shaking at all. He put that in my mouth.
You're saying that I put the word shaking in your mouth?
I'm talking about right now. I never said shaking right now.
Okay. No, it's in your report that you wrote when it was.
I understand that, but I wasn't speaking about that. I was speaking about when he said wake up.
And that's in quotation marks, right?
Correct.
Okay. We'll point right there. And is that the only statement that you remember him making?
That's the only statement directly to us that I remember him making.
Okay. And you're trained in how to do these narratives.
Correct.
You were concerned about the safety of the child.
Correct.
If you heard anything that was problematic, you would have depicted it in your narrative.
Correct. And like I said, the only thing problematic was just the behavior that we really thought. The behavior was confusing. I'll say it was confusing.
Okay. Well, you say confusing now, but you said disruptive in your report.
Confused me as to why it was so disruptive.
Okay.
It's not normal on a normal scene.
Because he was interfering with your care.
He never once interfered. I was afraid he was going to become I was afraid he was going to cause more harm.
Okay.
He never once stopped us from doing anything.
Okay. Well, I mean,
he never stopped me. He never stopped me. He just was concerned, and he was doing this.
Okay.
But he let me do everything I had to do.
Well, you wouldn't be concerned that he was going to do harm if he was gently touching Hannah or nudging her, would you?
It's still an observation, so I put it in there. I was not concerned.
That's my question is, you wouldn't be concerned about him nudging or just gently touching her, would you?
No.
But you would be concerned if he was shaking her,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you put in your report that he was shaking her, right?
Correct.
And you testified to the jury you were concerned about her safety and you got her out of there, right?
Correct. That's an overall scene safety.
Just answer my question.
I did. I said yes, and that's an overall scene safety. That's why we got her out of there. It's not attached to anybody.
All right. And you put in your report that he was excluded from the ambulance because he was disruptive at the scene.
Yeah.
Okay. And to circle back what I was trying to get accomplished, and I think I did, but I'm going to make sure that I did. You heard Lindsay say something about a fall yesterday.
Correct.
Where she hit her head hard.
Correct.
Complaining about headaches, I think?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. And the father never interrupted to say, that's not true.
No.
Objection, asked and answered.
I mean, he didn't. I don't think he knew.
He didn't?
Yeah, I can't speak for him, but he didn't seem to have a clue.
But you can't speak for him because you were there. You heard things.
No, I'm not speaking on behalf of him because he's not me.
Right.
I'm not.
Okay, I understand you're not him, but you were present at the scene.
Correct.
And you were present at the scene to hear what Lindsay had to say.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not going to speak on. I'm not going to put words in other people's mouths. If I didn't hear, I'm not putting it out there.
Okay.
The child's brain is being pushed over to the left side, and there's this area outside of the brain that's in the subdural space, and that's a moderately sized collection that's got high attenuation or bright white. High attenuation is something that we see with hemorrhage that's recently occurred. It's got some areas of dark in it. So to me, this is a subdural hemorrhage that's occurred that's causing mass effect on the brain and kind of pushing the brain over. This is just an image. The second image is just higher up. And then this is an image even higher up, sort of more at the top of the child's brain. Again, showing areas of kind of white or subdural hemorrhage outside the child's brain. And then this is actually the brain itself here. Yeah, so this is basically, this is on this side, this is Hannah's image here. And then this is just a normal 3-year-old child that I pulled from our system for a fall. We see lots of kids that come in with falls. This is what the normal 3-year-old brain should look like. The ventricles or the fluid spaces should be here in the center. Again, if you kind of draw a line down the middle, you can see how Hannah's ventricles are pushed off to the side. The left lateral ventricle is actually a little bit smaller. And when I talk about the attenuation or the color of the brain, you can see how it's almost like you've got darker areas centrally. Some of these areas are whiter, and that's sort of the normal appearance of the brain on this side, versus on Hannah's, you can see that you don't see those colors or the different blacks, shades of gray quite as nicely.
Doctor, are you able to say what is causing that shift?
Right, so when we see kids with large subdural hemorrhage, certainly the subdural hemorrhage itself can result in the shift. Subdural hemorrhage is typically caused by injury to venous structures, called like bridging veins. You have arteries which supply blood to the brain, and then the veins drain the brain as anywhere else in the body. And so subdural hemorrhage usually results from bleeding or injury to the bridging veins. And so not only do you have the subdural hemorrhage, but if you have injury to those veins, the brain itself is not going to be draining normally as well. And so you can get edema within the brain.
And edema is?
Swelling. Okay. Just like if you injure yourself in your hand and it starts to swell. So again, this is the bleeding here. So now you can see on the initial post-op one here, the skull, which is the white area here, has been resected in this large area here. And now you can see that the brain is what we kind of call herniates, or it kind of protrudes into that. So Dr. Stevenson removed the bone here, was able to drain that hematoma. But because of the swelling in the brain actually herniates out into that defect. If we draw that line down the middle on the initial postoperative study, the shift, what we call midline shift, has relatively resolved, although you can see again that brain is sort of herniating out. But then again, by the following day, you can see, if we kind of draw down that middle, how the brain is shifted over again. You can also see how the attenuation of the brain, you've got more areas of black. Here you've got areas of black as well. And so the child has really ended up having diffuse injury to that right side. And on the left side, I don't think we show all the images, I might show them, also had injury to the left side as a result of that initial midline shift. So when we get that initial midline shift, you can cause injury or to some of the arteries supplying portions of the brain, and so not unusual or not infrequently we'll see areas of the brain on the opposite side that are injured because of the initial shift.
Did you receive any medical history in your evaluation of Hannah Wesche and her slides from any source that would be consistent with the injuries that you were seeing?
I received no information of a significant accidental injury. By the time I signed off the report, I knew that she had significant bruising.
Okay. So you knew she had significant external bruising, is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
That's by the time you signed off on the report?
Correct.
Had you already developed an opinion prior to seeing that external bruising?
Yes.
And you said there was no significant accidental history. What do you mean by significant? What are you talking about?
Like I said, so if I see a scan like this, most of the time the child's going to present initially to our trauma bay, and we'll know before the child even gets to our trauma bay that there's a 3-year-old coming in that was involved in a motor vehicle collision or a motor vehicle accident. If a 3-year-old or a 16-month-old comes in with no history, no trauma history, comes to our trauma bay, and I see a scan like this, abusive head injury is going to be one of my main thoughts. We don't see subdural hemorrhage from a lot of things in the acute setting. Motor vehicle collisions, kids hit by cars, abusive head trauma. If this were a postoperative patient, a kid with a shunt, I can see subdural collections not infrequently in those kids. But to see it just out of the blue, it's very uncommon from, in children just with routine trauma.
And you say abusive head trauma. What is abusive head trauma? So
someone has caused injuries to the child, and when we talk about head trauma, it can be anywhere from the scalp, the skull, to the actual brain. some people used to call shaken baby. Shaking is one thought as to how these injuries occur, but unfortunately, lots of injuries can occur different ways. We have kids who, will find, potentially blood on a wall. You may find kids who are, people say that they threw them across the room, they slammed them down. So any sort of inflicted trauma on a child. Radiology is actually a very important part because we have these young kids coming in who we don't know what's going on with them. So like I said, if I have a 16-month-old who comes into the trauma bay, no one knows what's going on. We don't see any external signs on this child. We get imaging and see this. Obviously, abusive head injury is kind of top on our list. We then will go on to suggest other imaging studies where we will look for other injuries called a skeletal survey, which Hannah did have, and she did not have additional fractures, but we will do what is called a skeletal survey, where it's a study that we take bone images looking for occult fractures or fractures that we can't find clinically. And so that is routinely done on young children. Usually we do that up to about 2 years of age.
You talked about different mechanisms that you see cause abusive head trauma. Would a single fall event explain the findings that you have here?
I mean, we see kids fall all the time. I mean, I think we all have anyone who has their own children, we see kids fall all the time out in the community that don't even come to the hospital. I work 4 days a week clinical. I see kids every day that have falls off counters, falls out of car seats, and this is not the type of injury that we see. Short distance falls, like I said, we may see external swelling on the child's head, we may see a fracture or an actual break in the skull. Usually if we see kind of a short distance fall and we see a fracture, we may see a little bit of bleeding deep to that, but usually it doesn't cause any problems to the brain. It's not pushing the brain. The child may cry, but neurologically they're not terribly abnormal. Sometimes those kids might get admitted, sometimes they just go home. So this is not what I would expect from a short distance fall, no.
What about a series of falls over several days?
No.
Based upon your education, training, and experience, and to a reasonable degree of medical certainty, are you able to say whether or not Hannah would have been acting normal, would have been walking or talking and appearing normal to those who knew her after receiving the injury?
Yeah, no, this is a significant injury. Like I said, we see these injuries in, kids who have been involved in similar injuries, kids hit by cars, motor vehicle collisions, abusive head injury. These kids they present acutely. Acutely meaning I would not have expected her to be acting normally. I would not have expected her to be walking. Usually these kids are not able to breathe on their own. They're, have to be intubated. They're usually unconscious. The child emergently needs this removed, or this is a potentially fatal injury, and in her case it was. Even with surgery, it was a fatal injury. So this is a significant injury.
Can you describe your observations as you first came into contact with Hannah?
So this was a consult. I remember that she was unconscious. I remember that her face was a bit swollen, and as indicated in the notes, she had some eyelid swelling and a little bit of ecchymosis, or what we called blood discoloration on the left upper eyelid. The rest of her anterior segment, or the front part of her eye, was normal. We dilated her eyes, and then we looked inside the eyes. And
Doctor, I'm going to stop you before we get to that point. You talked about some ecchymosis. What is ecchymosis?
So basically, if you have an injury that's severe enough to cause a little bit of bleeding, you can have kind of this bluish, purplish discoloration, indicating that there's been some blood there.
What is your opinion as to the cause of the injuries that you saw in Hannah's eyes?
Yeah, my medical opinion is that it's due to abusive head trauma.
You testified that your diagnosis was abusive head trauma.
Correct.
And then you further testified that it was your belief based on the evidence that the mechanism of injury was shaking.
Correct.
In coming into contact with Hannah, were you aware of any procedures that she had received, any procedures that she had undergone, I guess is probably the better way to say it, at Cincinnati Children's?
So prior to me taking over her care in the hospital, she had come to us from an outside hospital, and
I don't want to kind of get into what information you have, but just specific any procedures that occurred at Cincinnati Children's. So any surgical procedure that you're...
So from when I took over her care, all the surgical procedures had already been done.
All right.
So when I took care of her, at that point the surgical procedures had been done, and from when I took care of her onwards, there were no new surgical procedures performed.
All right. And when did you take over care?
I took care of her on the 9th of March.
And
2018.
did you... 2018, thank you. Yes. And how long did that care continue?
So it was for a week.
In your care, did Hannah ever regain consciousness?
No, she did not regain consciousness.
Did her condition change in your care?
Her neurologic condition continued to deteriorate under my care, and that was what changed predominantly.
Doctor, can you tell us whether or not there was ever a determination of brain death in this case?
There was a determination of brain death in this case, and that was what was performed ultimately that led to her death.
Do you recall on what day the condition progressed or changed significantly in your care?
I'd have to look at the records, but it was about 3 days into her being in the hospital, it became clear to us that we would not be able to reverse the processes or even temporize what was going on in her brain. And at that time we started thinking about doing formal assessment of her brain by doing what we call a brain death examination. And so it was about 2 or 3 days into her course at Children's Hospital that it became very clear that this may go down the path of brain death.
Now, did that brain death evaluation then occur 3 days into her care?
No, it could not occur 3 days into it because for us to do a brain death examination, the patient has to have no medications in their system that would actually blunt or sort of cloud the neurologic exam, and she had gotten a lot of medications to induce a coma to help her brain and the pressure in her brain, and the levels of one of those medications was too high, and that precluded us doing a brain death examination.
So when ultimately were you able to do the brain death examination?
So I don't remember the exact date, but it was done. I had finished my week and I had passed it on to my partner who had taken the case over, and we were just waiting for those levels of the drug to come down to a level where we would be able to do it, and that was done the day she was pronounced, just the day it was done. And so when the level came down, we were able to do it.
During your care of Hannah Wesche, were you able to see visible external injuries all the time?
So while in the intensive care unit, we children are kept pretty still, and what I was able to observe was some bruising that was notable on her upper chest, and I didn't really turn her much because we were in a medically induced coma and she was so fragile at that state, so we don't like to move patients a whole lot, and so didn't really look at her back a whole lot, but definitely in the front when I used to examine her every day, we didn't notice bruising.
Oh. And could any of the care that Hannah received within the ICU have caused external injury to her?
No.
And why not? How do you know that?
Because children who have had sustained very severe brain injury, we keep them very, very still.
It goes beyond observations and what I did is now analysis or assessment. Exceeds a fact witness.
That's appropriate.
An ICU regarding a patient with a brain injury. So if you could go ahead with that.
So for children who have severe brain injury like this patient had, we keep them very still, and they actually get medicine that actually prevents them from moving, and also medicine that keeps them relatively in a comatose state, which she was getting. And so they don't really move spontaneously around. We actually don't even try to move them at all for any procedures and all if we can avoid them, because the very act of movement may increase the pressure in their brain, which we don't want to happen.
Lindsay's attorney, Melinda Howard, faced nearly impossible odds. The physical evidence, the confession, the deleted searches, it all painted a clear picture. Still, she tried a different strategy: blame the father. She pointed out that Jason Wesche had lied to police about his whereabouts the night before Hannah's death. He claimed he went to Walmart to buy milk, but was actually driving a friend, Chris Davis, home. A fact he kept secret for over a year.
Between Monday, March 5th and Thursday, March 8th, were you aware of Hannah receiving any injuries?
Yes.
And how did you become aware of that?
Lindsay told me after I picked Hannah up.
Did that happen one day, multiple days? How many times were there conversations about injuries that Hannah had that week?
She fell in the driveway. I'm going to say 3.
Well, tell me, to your recollection, what injuries do you recall Hannah having in those days leading up to March 8th, and what Lindsay told you about those?
She had little bruises all over her chest and a pretty bad scrape on the chin. When I picked her up, Lindsay said that her and her daughter, Vivian, were playing in the driveway and Hannah had tripped over the heel of her boot and fell on the rocks. She had a bruise on her chin and a black eye. One day, Lindsay said that she had stepped up on top of a toy on wheels and the toy kicked out from underneath of her and she fell on the handlebar. She fell on a step too, but I can't recollect if she told me that week or not about that.
March 7th of 2018, which would be the night before, or the day before.
Yes, ma'am.
Had Lindsay watched Hannah that day?
Yes.
And do you recall what time you picked Hannah up that day?
It was about 7 o'clock. Excuse me. It was a late night that night. It was about 7 o'clock p.m.
And when you picked Hannah up, were you given any information about any injury that she received that day?
Yes, that's when she told me she fell on the train.
And that would be the black eye that you circled?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do after that?
After that, I ended up I had a friend of mine stay at my house, and I dropped him back off at his apartment that night.
And where would that have been?
In Fairfield, Ohio, at Cobblestone Grove.
Where'd you go after that?
I came back home.
You remember telling detectives you went to go get milk?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you do that?
No, ma'am.
Why'd you tell them that?
I thought I did. I was just confused. I mean, at the time I was being questioned, I was focused on my daughter. I meant to get milk. I thought I did. I didn't. I ended up going back home after I dropped him off.
When did you realize you'd taken a friend home?
Sunday.
Sunday when?
This past Sunday. I was talking to him on the phone, and we were talking about my daughter, and that was the last time he saw her. So he told me that he saw her. I took him home.
What caused you to realize that you had taken your friend home that night? Without giving me any statements directly that somebody made.
When I was talking about my daughter, things are just, let's see. I'm really not sure how to say that without,
Did that conversation help to refresh your memory as anything?
yes, ma'am.
And as to what? What was that?
Where I went that night, I was confused on where I went. I thought I went to got milk. I knew I left. I thought I got milk. I did not.
So you're saying you took your friend to Fairfield.
Yes, ma'am.
Approximately how long does that take?
It takes about 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. Depends on traffic, say an hour and 15 minutes.
What'd you do then? After you took your friend to his apartment?
Came back home, and me and Hannah went inside and laid on the couch.
Then what?
Then we went to sleep.
Did you stay on the couch all night or did you go into a bedroom?
We slept on the couch that night.
What did you do the next morning?
I got up, got ready for work. I got Hannah up. She brushed her teeth, got dressed. She liked to dress herself, so she puts her own clothes on. She ate, and then I was putting her coat on. I texted Lindsay and told her that I was on my way over. I went over and dropped Hannah off, gave her hugs and kisses, and headed down towards my truck. I got out of my truck to start it, and I had a missed phone call from Lindsay. When I got back in my car, she had called me back and told me something was wrong with Hannah, that I had to come back.
All right, so I want to talk to you about that morning. You said she likes to get herself dressed.
Yes.
She brushed her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you help her brush her teeth? She does that on her own.
I help her. She likes to do it on her own, but I still help her.
You said she ate?
Yes.
Do you recall what she ate?
It would have been cereal.
What happened then? After eating?
Then she got dressed and we were getting ready to proceed to head over to Lindsay's.
And you talked about sending messages at some point to Lindsay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do that morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall what time you sent that message?
It was right before we left. I was in the middle of putting her coat on when I texted Lindsay.
Do you recall what the specific time on a clock would have been?
Not exactly. Probably around 10 till 7, maybe 5 till 7, somewhere in there. It was right before 7 o'clock because I get my truck at 7 o'clock. Right before we leave, I put Hannah's coat and shoes on. They're sitting, we usually sit on that little footstool that's sitting there by the wall. Put her coat and shoes on, I text Lindsay, and we head out. We got out of the car. When I took her in, I give her hugs and kisses. And that morning was a little different because she kept asking for a kiss over and over and over again. And then they went inside and I went down to my shop. I started my truck.
What happened once you got back?
I walked in, Hannah was on the floor, not in the garage or in the kitchen. There was a room in between when you first walked in. I leaned down and I was trying to tell her to breathe because she wasn't really breathing. I ended up picking her up and taking her into the garage and laying her on the couch. Lindsay was kind of walking around asking what she should do. I told her to call 911, and then she called 911.
Tell me about what happened when she got Hannah to the couch.
She was kind of gasping for air. She wasn't really breathing. I kept telling her to breathe, and when I tell her to breathe, she'd take a breath and then let it out slow, and then she wouldn't take another breath until I yelled at her or I said her name, and then she'd take another breath, and then it would come out slow. And then EMS showed up. or the ambulance came.
And what happened at that point?
They came in and they took over. They ended up getting Hannah on a stretcher, and we left. We went to Fort Hamilton Hospital.
Who's we?
Well, I drove my own car. I followed the ambulance. So the EMS, or the ambulance drivers and the first responders, and then I followed them in my vehicle.
And then what?
We went into the hospital. They were saying that it looked like she might have blood on the brain. I thought she had an aneurysm. Lindsay showed up a little bit later, and we were in the hall just waiting to hear what was going on. They ended up air carrying her to Children's Hospital from there, and I drove to Children's.
Did you speak to any detectives while you were at Fort Hamilton Hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
And after that, then did you go to Children's?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, to your knowledge, what then happened at Children's?
Once I got to Children's, we were just waiting. By the time I got there, they already had Hannah rushed into brain surgery. We were just kind of hanging around waiting to hear from a doctor. The detectives were there. They were talking to me off and on.
Did Hannah ever regain consciousness?
No, ma'am.
When did she die?
On March 18th, 2018.
We've seen some pictures of Hannah following an organ procurement. When was that decision made?
That was around the 7th day she was in the hospital. We were pretty much told that she wasn't going to make it. They had to wait for the drugs that she was on from the hospital to wear off so they could do exams, but she was already brain dead.
The defense brought in Dr. Werner Spitz, a renowned forensic pathologist, then 92 years old, to challenge some medical conclusions.
Hannah's brain was swollen because it weighed somewhat in excess of that. It weighed 1,350 grams.
Was that evidence to you that an injury was swelling to the brain, the weight?
There was some degree of swelling to the brain, not very much, but there was a swollen brain.
But the trial reached its most dramatic moment when Lindsay took the stand herself. Through tears, she denied everything. She claimed her confession had been forced, that detectives had pressured her, suggested that maybe her partner or Jason had harmed the girl, and she panicked. But the prosecution was ready. They played footage of her confession again. Lindsay demonstrated the way she hit and shook Hannah, specific physical gestures, things no one else suggested. She described it as if it were normal parenting. She even admitted believing that Jason would have approved of disciplining Hannah like that.
Lindsay, did you cause harm to Hannah Wesche on March 8th?
I did not.
Did you cause harm to her on March 6th?
I did not.
Did you cause harm to her on March 7th?
I did not.
Why did you tell the police that you did?
Because I wanted to protect everybody.
And what do you mean by I wanted to protect everybody?
In the first interview, I felt like it was all about TJ. I mean, they even asked me if I was an abused wife, if he was abusing me. And I cared about Jason. I didn't want anybody to be in trouble.
On the first day that you babysat Hannah, did you also have any other children there?
My two and KK.
Okay. And did you mark that particular day by anything special?
Yeah, I posted on Instagram, maybe Facebook too. Welcome, sweet Hannah, with all of them sitting together.
Tell us what happened.
As we were walking in, I asked her if she wanted to go to the couch or if she wanted to go back to sleep. She seemed tired. Sometimes if it was earlier, she would want to go back to sleep, and just depending on what day it was. A lot of the times she would just come to the couch and fall asleep next to me until my kids woke her up or Kaylin showed up and woke her up. But she said donut and couch, and as we were stepping into the house, I went to take off my robe and put my phone down, and she collapsed forward.
How long had you had her with your hand in that house in the garage before that happened?
10 seconds.
And then what did you do?
I immediately panicked. I didn't know what was happening.
What did you
Just
do?
trying to assess the situation. Hannah talked to me, what's going on. I thought maybe she was having a seizure. I coached cheerleading, so I've taken CPR. Rolled her on her side, tried to remember how to do the seizure in the mouth thing. Assess the situation just for a few seconds, trying to figure out if she would stand up or if she would be, talk to me.
And where's Vivian at this time?
Standing right there.
And then what do you do?
I called Jason.
And do you know what time you called Jason?
I'd have to look at my records.
Your phone records say what time you called him?
Yes.
No doubt?
No doubt.
You called him, and then what happened?
It rang twice and went to voicemail.
And then what? Did you leave a voicemail?
No, I just hung up. I was going to give it a few seconds. I was checking on her. I was kneeling next to her. I was on my knees next to her.
Okay. And then what happened?
He called me back.
How long did it seem like from the time that you called him to the time that he called you back?
Not very long.
Okay. And you've looked at your phone records?
I have.
What were you doing in between the time that you called him, didn't get him, and he calls you back?
Checking on her and then trying to calm Vivian down. She kept telling her, go in the living room, watch cartoons. It'll be okay. Mommy will be there in a minute to check on you. She didn't want to leave. She was upset. Her mom was upset.
Were you upset?
Very.
When Jason called you back, what did you tell him?
I said, Hannah collapsed. I don't know what's going on, but I need you up here right away.
And he arrived?
He did.
Where were you when he arrived?
Inside the house, right in front of the door that leads into the house. I had Hannah on her back on the carpet, and I was kneeling next to her.
Okay. Did you see him enter the garage?
I think I heard him come in the garage, and I can see kind of catty corner through.
But you more so heard him?
Yeah.
And what happened from there?
He walked in the house, and I said, I don't know what's going on. He said, me either, and he picked her up and then put her on the couch in the garage.
You didn't put her in the garage?
I did not.
How would you describe how you felt when Sergeant Whitlock told you on March 8th that you'd had Hannah for an hour and 20 minutes before you called 911?
It took me a minute to realize what he was saying, and then it was like at 8:20 I was at Fort Hamilton Hospital, so there's no way that's possible. That's why I said, let me see my phone, I can show you what time I called.
Why did you contest his version?
Because everything happened so fast that morning, there was no way it took an hour and 20 minutes for me to call 911.
You heard Sergeant Whitlock tell you that Hannah was dead on March 8th?
I did.
How did that make you feel?
Well, I didn't know he was lying at the time, but I was devastated. I felt like I was going to throw up. I loved her very much. Hurt.
And when did you learn that she had not died on March 8th?
Not until I was leaving the police station when TJ and I talked about going down to the hospital.
How did you feel in the first interview?
Fine. I was telling them my truth, telling them what happened. Wanted to help. I trust police.
And is there any difference in how you felt in the second interview?
Very much.
And what was that difference?
They didn't care what I had to say of my truth. They only wanted their own answers. I felt pressured. I felt forced. I wanted to protect everybody. I felt bullied.
You've heard the 911 call?
Yeah.
How long did it seem like it was before they arrived?
Forever.
And what were you and Jason doing during that time period?
Trying to get her to respond to us. I was telling her I loved her.
Did Jason tell you what he believed the medical condition Hannah was suffering from was?
He did.
And what was that?
An aneurysm.
Did Jason tell you how Hannah was doing?
Yes.
And based upon your conversation with him, did you form a belief as to how well or bad or what was going on with Hannah?
Yes.
And what was that belief?
She was going to be okay.
When you were at Children's Hospital, did you have a conversation with Jason about your interview with the police?
I did.
Did you tell him that they told you Hannah was dead?
Yes.
Did you tell him that the police told you it was you or him?
Yes.
And did you tell him about the questions about TJ?
I did.
And what did he say about TJ to you?
That he was asked the same questions.
As to TJ as a suspect?
Yes.
After speaking with Jason, did you form a belief as to his view of corporal punishment?
Yes.
And what was your belief?
That disciplining her was okay.
Did you have a conversation with him at all about bruising?
Yes.
Okay. And did you tell him that you had been asked about bruising?
I did.
And did you, after talking with him, did you form a belief as to his, did you form a belief as to the bruising?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was from falling in the gravel and from the train.
Did you tell him it was you or him?
Yes.
That's what the police told you?
That's what the police told me.
When you finished your visit at Children's Hospital, did you think it was you or him?
Yes and no. I don't know that it completely registered with me. Okay. I was more worried about her.
Okay.
I mean, but yes, I knew that that was out, that was said to me.
Okay. Was it you?
It was not.
Then who was it?
Objection. Speculation.
Why didn't you throw Jason to the wolves, to the detectives on March 8th?
Because I care about him. He was my friend. I cared about his daughters, all three of them. We'd become friends over the year that I had Hannah.
Why didn't you throw him to the detectives as the person who did it on March 9th?
I wanted to protect everybody. I didn't want anybody to be in trouble.
Why would you want to protect someone who did this to a child?
I always think the best of people. I just didn't.
They showed you the photographs of Hannah in the hospital, right?
Yeah, on my second interview, yes.
Yeah. On March 9th, they showed you these photos. And you wanted to protect the person who did this?
I didn't want anybody to be in trouble. I wanted to protect everybody.
Did you lie to the police?
I told them what they wanted to hear.
What do you mean you told them that what they wanted to hear?
All of their questions, like leading into it's an accident, did she fall, all of those things. I just agreed with them because the day before, for hours, I told them what happened. And even an hour into that second interview, I told them what happened. They didn't want to hear it. They actually told me they didn't want to hear it.
Wouldn't you want them to help find who did that to Hannah?
Yeah.
How did telling them that you didn't do it help find who did?
They told me it was one of two people.
What's the truth as to what happened to Hannah Wesche in the time frame you had her on March 8th?
What I said in my first interview. We walked in the house and she collapsed. He was gone for 30 seconds at the most.
What's the truth about what happened to Hannah Wesche about the bruise on her chin?
She fell in the rocks with me, or the gravel driveway.
When she fell in the gravel, what day was that?
March 6th, Tuesday.
And you guys were outside, is that correct?
Yes, we were.
Did you ask anybody about those bruises?
Jason later on, when he showed up, when he picked her up.
That day?
Mm-hmm.
So this day is what day?
Wednesday, March 7th.
March 7th. And you ask him about it when he picks up at the end of the day?
Yes.
And what did he say?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ask, other than Jason, did you ask anybody else about those bruises?
No.
Okay. Based upon your conversation, did you form a belief as to those bruises?
That they were from falling in the driveway?
Did you cause those bruises on her chest?
No, I didn't.
Did you see those bruises on her chest?
Just the top part of that.
Okay. And when you say the top part of that, what do you mean?
The group of them, just the top part of it, not all of it.
And you're kind of pointing to where I'd call your collarbone area?
I felt like, I mean, bruises develop over time. I felt like it was getting a little bit worse.
Okay.
Looking.
And did you do anything about them?
Yeah, I put my essential oils on them, and then when I did my Google search, it said vapor rub helps.
Okay.
And I assumed it probably because it cools it down, but I don't remember the exact science, what I read, but I put a little vapor rub on her.
Okay.
And my oils.
And did you tell Jason that day? How did you describe it to him?
What I did?
Yes.
I said her bruises looked bad, assuming from the fall, and I Googled which one of my oils to use, and I put it on there, and then I said, it said vapor rub works too. Sorry, she smells like vapor rub.
Do you see line 1 of the searched items and line 5 of the search items?
I do.
Let's start with 5. What time is that search listed as?
March 7th at 8 a.m., 48 minutes and 17 seconds.
Okay, and what is the search?
How to get rid of a bruise.
And do you see the column that says deleted?
I do.
Do you remember deleting that?
I don't.
Line 1, what is that search?
How to get rid of a bruise.
What time and date?
March 8th at 9 p.m., 13 minutes and 49 seconds.
Okay. And do you know when you deleted that?
I don't.
Okay. Let's talk about line 3. What is that?
Is vapor rub good for bruises?
Or what time was that search performed?
March 7th, 2 p.m., 56 minutes and 51 seconds.
That search wasn't deleted?
No.
Line 4? What is that?
What essential oils is good for bruises?
And what time was that?
March 7th, 2 p.m., 56 minutes and 30 seconds.
Was that search deleted?
No.
At 2:56 p.m., what were you doing?
Sitting on the couch.
Why were you sitting on the couch?
All the girls were napping.
And is that a normal thing for the girls to do in the afternoon?
Yes.
And what approximate time do the kids nap?
Between 2 and 4, sometimes 1:30, 3:30.
Okay. And after the girls got up from their nap on the 7th, what happened?
We went out into the garage to play on their ride-around toys.
On their what toys?
Their ride-on toys.
The ones that we've seen in the various photographs?
Yes.
Okay. And what else happened?
I was getting snack together at the coffee table in the back room.
Is the back room also called the deer room?
Yes.
Your husband's a hunter?
He is.
And you were getting snack together?
Yes.
And the girls were outside? What else was going on?
I was getting ready to, I went out there and turned the TV on so their cartoons were playing. They were playing in the garage.
Okay. And did you see something happen?
Vivian jumped up on the train first.
Okay.
And I said, Vivian, get down. You're going to get hurt. You can't be standing on it. And then Hannah did it right after her.
Okay. And then what happened?
As I was telling Hannah to get down, for some reason I feel like she went to jump off of it, and that may be why it went out from underneath her. Kind of like pushed it. but she fell and hit the floor.
Okay. What did you do?
Went to her immediately.
And what happened from there?
I made everybody come back inside.
Like into the main house?
Back into the main house.
Okay.
I hadn't quite taken snack out, so we were just gonna do snack inside. I wanted to make sure she was okay. I got a blue soft ice pack out of the freezer, wrapped it in a washcloth so it wasn't too cold on her face. She sat on the couch and ate snack with me.
Did you check her out?
Yeah.
Could she walk and talk?
Yes.
Okay. Did you call 911?
I didn't.
In terms of pickup for Jason, would it be normal for him to go somewhere after pickup?
Sometimes. He wasn't home a lot.
Okay.
If I didn't send home leftovers or something, I'm assuming they probably went out and got something to eat.
When Hannah left on the 7th of March, did you notice any bruising in regards to what you believe was from the fall on the concrete?
Just the little mark under her eye.
Okay.
Under her eye.
I'm sorry?
I was doing the left because I keep using my right hand because it's my dominant hand.
Okay. And in terms of that, you talked to him about that?
I did.
And had you told him that you had put anything on?
Yeah, I told him I used my essential oils and vapor rub, and that's when I said, sorry, she smells like vapor rub.
Okay. How long did you look at Hannah on the morning of the 8th before calling Jason?
Not even 10 seconds. I wasn't examining her.
Did you pay attention to bruising?
Not so much. When Jason and I chit-chatted and we talked about the snow, and then I did say, the vapor rub looks like it worked.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, that's crazy.
You looked at her?
A second. It was just like and then I was back to talking to him.
Okay. Is this while he's got her on his leg?
Yes.
Okay. And so have you seen a full frontal of her yet?
No, not yet.
When she's lying on the floor in you called it the dining room? What's that room called?
I call it the dead animal room.
Okay.
It's the trophy room, deer
Probably
room.
not
We do have a dining room table back there.
Let's call it the trophy room.
Yeah.
It has a lot of stuffed animals in it, correct?
It does.
Okay. Are you looking at her face?
When we walk into the house?
No, when she's lying on the ground.
Oh, yes.
What are you seeing?
Bruising, but I was more focused on trying to get her to talk to me.
Okay. And do you lift up her hair?
No.
When was the first time you saw the bruising on the ear?
When I was in my second interview, I believe.
The photograph of the eye that the detective showed you, was that the same bruising you had seen earlier?
No.
From what you called as the hickey thing?
No, there was more.
What had you not seen?
The top part.
Do you remember what you were doing the evening of the 7th of March?
I was at home.
Did you leave at all that night?
I did not.
Did TJ come home?
Yes.
Okay. And all of your cell phone is in the record?
It is.
And if the ladies and gentlemen of the jury open up either the disc or the 8 boxes there, what are they going to find out about you and TJ?
Oh, that we fight. We're a normal couple with kids.
And how do you fight?
We fight through text message so that we don't do it in front of our children.
Okay. And are there topics of conversations that are a repeating theme for you and TJ?
Yes.
What are they?
Drinking.
You're drinking?
No.
Who's drinking?
TJ's.
Anything else?
Not really.
The evening of the 7th, were you guys bickering by text?
Yes.
Where were you both at?
He was in the garage with some work guys, and I was in the living room with the girls.
And was that problematic for you?
I didn't like it. I wanted him to come in and be with us. I know he has to work, and I know he has to make sure the guys are okay for the next day. But I think any woman wants to feel important.
Okay. Were the work guys inclusive of Jason Wesche that day?
No. There's 2 other ones.
Any other common themes that you and TJ would bicker about?
Kids.
Okay. Are you what type of couple are you? You fight all the time, or you fight and make up? What do you do?
I mean, I think we're like any normal couple that has little children, and one works all the time, and one is with the kids. We do have a lot in common. We camp. I hunted a lot more before I had kids, but I like when he does that. It's his hobby. That makes me happy when he gets to do that. I mean, we get along and we don't get along. I mean, there's days where we love each other, and there's days where we don't really like each other, but that's, I mean, in any relationship, whether it's a roommate or...
On March 7th, did you go to bed mad?
I'm not sure.
Do you have a memory of being mad when you went to bed on the 7th?
Not necessarily. He's usually pretty apologetic and tries to smooth it over with me.
Smooth it over with you how?
Like telling me he loves me and we're a team, and...
Tells you he needs you?
Tells me he needs me.
Is that a common theme between the two of you?
Yeah.
Were you mad at him on the 8th, the morning of the 8th?
No. I get over things pretty fast.
Okay. Did you wake up mad on the 8th?
No.
Did you get mad on the 8th?
No.
You didn't take your anger and frustration out on Hannah?
No. Wasn't any.
Why would you tell these 2 gentlemen the things you told them?
I felt like I'd know their option. I had been telling them the same thing I told everybody the day before for an hour, and they just kept telling me something happened, something happened. So I just gave them the answers they wanted to hear. I wanted to protect everybody. I didn't want anybody to be in trouble. And I didn't think she was going to pass away.
You heard Detective, excuse me, Lambert come in here, and specifically I want to focus on that statement she testified to and that Detective Turner found had been created recently. Do you remember that?
I do.
Do you remember getting that in discovery?
I do.
And tell me what you felt when you read what she wrote.
I was livid.
Why were you livid?
Because it's not true.
Had you said the things that she wrote in that statement?
No.
Remember the story you told the detective?
Yes.
Was the ketchup story real?
No.
Why did you say that?
Because Hannah and Vivian always helped me cook. The day before we had mini corn dogs, and they were squirting the ketchup on the plate, and it was something that they had touched, that we had done.
Did you hit Hannah after the ketchup?
No.
Did you take her into the bathroom where she was squirting the ketchup and hit her?
No.
Why did you say you did?
Because I've had a friend, my friend Andrea, tell me that she's socked her kid before and it's never been an issue. I just thought that would never be an issue. It's discipline. It wouldn't be anything that would get anyone in trouble.
Hepatitis C.
Yeah?
Did you know anything about hepatitis C for Hannah?
I did not.
When Hannah fell on the gravel driveway on, you said it was Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When she fell on that gravel driveway, did she scrape up her knees?
I didn't check.
Did she scrape up her hands?
Not that I didn't.
Did she hit her forehead?
I don't know.
When she fell, did her hands go out to catch her?
I don't know. It was a year and a month ago.
So when you were previously interviewed and you said that she walked and she just pushed her hands back and fell flat on her chest, that's not your testimony today, that you don't remember that?
If that's what I said in my interview, then that's the truth. It was closer to the time.
So it's your understanding that Hannah had no survival instincts to put her hands out to catch herself?
Check the characterization.
I'll withdraw the question.
All right.
You indicated that you went out twice that day for a walk because it was nice.
It was nice, yes.
And you said the first time that you went out is when the fall happened.
Yes, ma'am.
You also indicated that I think she was wearing, I think your words were a crew neck shirt from Walmart. I think that was what you
Just a
described it
Walmart
as.
shirt.
Okay. And she had her jacket on.
Yes.
Right. And so your testimony today is that she fell wearing a shirt, wearing a jacket on a gravel driveway, and those gravel rocks pierced through her chest with all those layers of clothes?
They could have. It was a light jacket. It was one of my kids' jackets.
And you also said that she fell from, it's your testimony today, that she fell off that train on Wednesday.
Yes.
And I think your testimony today was that she was getting ready to jump off it, or she was jumping off it and getting back on, or about to jump off. Is that your testimony today?
That was, yeah. My assumption.
And you previously told Detective Turner in your interview on 3-9 that she was standing on that train and she was surfing. I think you actually identified that she was surfing.
Yeah.
So not jumping, surfing. Is that right?
Kind of the same motion and then jumping off.
Okay. You also described today that that conversation with Detective Lambert regarding the ketchup, that never happened.
It did not.
Absolutely did not happen.
Absolutely not.
Did not tell Detective Sprague.
No.
Did not tell Detective Lambert.
No, ma'am.
The first time, according to your testimony today, that you talked about ketchup in the toilet would have been your interview with Detective Turner. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you've used the word mischievous multiple times to describe Hannah. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think in your interview on 3-8 with Detective Lambert, you said, you used that word. You said Hannah's mischievous. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And at one point in your interview with Detective Whitlock was in the room at that time, you were asked, Ms. Parton, I want you to guess what happened to that child. And your response was, I'm sure she did something bad and got in trouble. She's a little mischievous. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
And you weren't lying about that, right?
All four girls are mischievous, but yes.
You didn't Google how to make a bruise look better, how to make a bruise feel better. You Googled how to get rid of a bruise. Is that right?
Yes.
And you would have Googled that the day that Hannah fell off the train, March 7th.
The morning of.
Okay. Ms. Parton, can you please look at how to get rid of a bruise on 3/7? Can you tell me the timestamp?
8 a.m., 48 minutes and 17 seconds.
All right. And is 8 a.m. before or after 4 p.m., ma'am?
It's before.
So when you said that you Googled it after she fell off the train, that wouldn't have been correct.
I'm not sure.
And I think you made a comment when you were sitting by yourself, like, they're going to look at my phone. Is that right?
I don't remember that. I'm not sure.
We've gone through some other information that you deleted throughout this time. You didn't delete Celebrex, right?
No.
You didn't delete Is Vapor Rub good for bruises?
No, ma'am.
You didn't delete What Essential Oils is good for bruises?
No, ma'am.
The only one that's showing here that you deleted is How to Get Rid of a Bruise. Is that fair?
Yes.
You heard some testimony yesterday from Paula Smith.
I did.
And you also, I think you started your testimony today talking about that you're not technically married to TJ, right? You had a ceremony. You had a wedding. Were people there?
Yes.
All right, family showed up. Did you wear a white dress?
I did.
And I think your testimony today is that the marriage license is just a piece of paper.
To me.
But ma'am, you didn't actually tell your family that you weren't married until about a year later, is that right?
No, they all knew.
They all knew, okay. So when Paula testified that she didn't find out until a year later, that was a lie?
Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, isn't it true that you didn't get married to TJ? You didn't do a marriage license so you could continue to collect government benefits?
No.
Check this form. Come on, approach.
Isn't it true that you told Paula Smith that the reason that you didn't have a marriage license is so that you could collect government benefits?
No.
You were pretty good friends with Miss Smith, is that right? You guys exchanged, I think in that box alone, thousands of text messages. Is that fair?
Yes.
You would commiserate about things going on in your life. Is that fair? And on 3/8/2018, Paula Smith came over to watch your kids so you could go to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's when you went to Fort Hamilton Hospital, that first time?
Yes.
And she stayed at your house, is that right?
Yeah, I think she took the girls to her house as well.
And I think the testimony today was that you were approximately at Fort Hamilton for about 30 minutes. Does that sound right? That was your testimony
Somewhere
today?
around there.
During your interview with Detective Turner and Detective Hensley, it's your position today, or your testimony today, that you felt like you needed to tell them what they wanted to hear.
Yes.
Is that right? But ma'am, you didn't tell them what they wanted to hear on 3/8, did you?
I didn't feel forced or pressured to do that.
Despite them telling you that
me.
Hannah died.
I'd ask her to let her finish the answer. She was finishing her answer.
Finish the answer, then we'll proceed to the next question.
Sorry. I felt like they were listening to me on Thursday.
Despite them lying to you and saying that Hannah died.
Yes.
And so you didn't tell them what they wanted to hear on 3/8.
They weren't badgering me the way I felt that it was on Friday. It was a different atmosphere.
Ma'am, I understand you want to explain your answer, and you can do so with your attorney, but I just want to know, did you tell them what they wanted to hear on 3/8 of 18?
No.
And you were allowed to leave that day, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You went home.
Yes.
You were with your kids.
Yes.
With your husband.
Well, I went to the hospital, so I wasn't at home with my kids, but...
But you were free to go?
Yes.
You had your phone on you?
Yes.
And I think at that point you had talked to TJ as well, because he was interviewed, is that right?
Yes.
And he told you that his interview was brief.
Yes.
And that he didn't know anything because he wasn't even there. Is that right?
Yes.
And you go back to the sheriff's office on 3/9 at 18, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you met with Detective Turner and Detective Hensley?
Yes.
And at that time, they had pictures of Hannah at this time.
Yes.
And they were going through those pictures with you and the different bruises, is that right?
Yes.
And I think at the time they gave you some coffee. I think you commented that they give you flavored creamer.
Yeah.
Right? And if you had to use the restroom, they let you use the restroom.
Yes.
And according to you, it's only at that time that you told them what they wanted to hear. Is that your testimony today?
About an hour into it, 45 minutes.
So you said about an hour into it, you felt obligated to tell them what they wanted to hear. And in fact, not only did you tell them what they wanted to hear, you gave a description of exactly what you did, right? You went into detail. Didn't you, Miss Parton?
They went into detail.
Did they suggest the ketchup? Or did you suggest the ketchup?
They asked if there was something else or that she got in trouble for, from what I remember.
So you just made that up. This whole ketchup thing you just made up off the top of your head.
Yes, ma'am.
So you wanted to tell them what they wanted to hear, but they never even brought up anything about ketchup. They didn't say to you, did Hannah dump ketchup in the toilet? Did they?
They didn't, no.
So you're not just telling them what you're giving them detailed descriptions of what you did.
Wanted to hear something else.
The day before, Sergeant Whitlock wanted you to admit that you called 911 at 8:20, and you didn't do that, did you?
It took me a minute to realize what he was saying.
But man, you didn't admit to doing that, did you?
No, because I knew exactly how long it had been that I was with Hannah.
After looking through discovery, listening to testimony of witnesses, watching your interview multiple times, reading the transcript multiple times, the story that you've now come up with today is that you never heard Hannah.
That's not a story, that's the truth.
So you're saying that on 3/9, the statements that you made it all up because you wanted to protect everyone. Is that your statement today?
I don't know that I made it all up. I was letting them lead me into questions and giving them the answers according to what they wanted.
So your testimony today is that you just agreed with whatever they said. Is that right?
That's what they wanted. They kept telling me something else happened, something else happened. Somebody in that house did something.
Did they ever tell you that she fell on the concrete step?
They said, is it an accidental fall?
But did they ever lead you that she fell on a concrete step?
No, but we were walking in the house.
Did they ever lead you and tell you that she fell on a concrete step and hit her eye?
No.
Did they ever lead you to say that you picked her up and slipped on her blanket and dropped her?
No, but they said, was it an accidental drop or an accidental fall?
But ma'am, what I'm asking you is you're saying that they led you to what they wanted you to say. But my question is, did they specifically give you those details? Did they give you the detail about the ketchup?
Well, no.
Did they give you the detail about the concrete step?
No.
Did they give you the detail about the metal part on the concrete step?
No.
You indicated that your testimony today is that you told them what they wanted to hear because you wanted to protect everyone. Is that right?
I did.
And one of those people was TJ?
Yes.
And I think in your interview, your first interview, you said that TJ and you have a good relationship. Is that right?
Yeah, to me it's good. I mean, it's good. Not everything's perfect, but
that's how you described it. We have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And you said you were together for about 5 years at that point?
yes.
He's the father of your babies.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think we've discussed this already, but he's baby daddy in your phone.
Yes.
All right. At some point, he used to be husband in your phone.
Yes.
All right. When did that change?
When he got a new phone number.
October 2017, sound right?
Yes.
So either he or his dad, Jay, hired Jason?
I think Jay did. I'm not really sure.
And then at some point, we've determined in July, Jason moves in next door.
Yes.
Right. And I think Jason and you were friends. I think
We were.
you said that in your interview. And you said sometimes when he would come to pick Hannah up at the end of the night, he would stay and you would kind of chat.
Yeah, we would chat.
But this bothered TJ, didn't it? When he would do that.
I think a little bit.
He's got a little jealous, maybe?
Maybe a little bit.
You indicated that in your first interview that you and TJ bicker about normal stuff. Kids and I think you said money.
Normal stuff.
Is that fair?
Fair.
Any other things that any other married couple had a wedding but
Any other
didn't get a marriage license and
Yes.
would have. Okay. And you would also fight about his family, the Smiths, a lot.
Yeah.
You felt like he always sided with his family over you.
They're a big family.
But you felt that way. You felt like he was always kind of siding with them.
Yes.
And you would fight about his drinking.
Yes.
And you would fight that he was being unfaithful.
Yeah. I don't know that he was, but
But that was a topic of some of your fights.
Yes.
And you said that you felt bullied by police.
Yes.
But your husband bullies you all the time, doesn't he? I think it was your statement in your first interview that you watch the kids all by yourself. Is that right?
Yes.
It's just you. TJ's not there. He's
Every once in
working.
a while he'll come in and out.
TJ works for Smith Corp.
Corp.
Oh, it's pronounced Corp?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
It's his dad's company.
Yes.
Family business.
Yes.
He works long hours.
Yes.
It looks like on the day of March 8th, he left about 6:15. Is that a pretty reasonable start date for him?
Start time, yes.
And when does he, yes, thank you, start time. And typically he gets home pretty late. Is that fair?
Around the same time Jason would pick up Hannah.
They're on similar schedules. They work for the same company. And I think you testified on direct that he's not home a lot. You wish he could be home a little bit more.
Yeah. Yes.
And you said that he doesn't make a lot of time for you.
No, he doesn't have a lot of time.
And I think you've already alluded to this, but TJ drinks.
Yes.
And sometimes he would hit a bar after work and leave you home.
Yes.
And sometimes you would catch him drinking in the garage with his buddies instead of paying attention to you.
Yes.
And this actually happened the evening of March 6th of 2018.
Yes.
And you and TJ were fighting about that.
Over text message, yes.
Because he's off drinking and you're home with the kids.
Yes.
And I think there's been some testimony about this, but you were fighting with TJ, amongst other things that we've already discussed, on March 6th. Is that right, over text message?
Yes.
Was it always over text message, or did it ever be in front of kids?
I'm sure there were some in front of the kids. We tried not to.
Ma'am, isn't it true that on 3/6 of 2018 at 8:29 p.m. you told TJ good luck ever seeing the girls when all is gone because you work too much and pick everyone else and we aren't waiting for you anymore? I didn't even know people were in the garage, of course, but I don't matter. F-U-C-K, the shop moving, your people are unbelievable, can't even trust you to behave in front of me at a banquet, let alone off at a shop done by a piece of SHIT bar. I'm sure I'll find you in. Is that right? March 6, 2018 at 8:29 p.m. That's the text message that I just read out loud?
Yes.
And then you continue to fight with TJ on March 6th. Sorry. You continue to fight with him throughout the night? Is that fair?
Yes.
And on 3/6, 2018 at 8:30 p.m., you say you will always pick hanging out and drinking with whoever over us. The only reason you got to see Vivian is because I let her out there. Otherwise, you wouldn't pick them, and then you turn her against me by being a fake or instead of telling her the truth. Is that right?
Yes.
Then later in the night, in that text message around 9:41 on the same date, we no longer have a relationship. Have fun at your new shop. We will see you when you make time for us, wherever we are. Is that right?
I've said that before, but yes.
And then 3 minutes later, you tell them we're done, go work and manipulate. Is that right?
Yes.
2018 at 6:52 a.m. You tell TJ it's all about you and you know everything. So effing sick of it. Is that right?
Yes.
You tell them about a half hour later, have a good day worrying about your employees and Smiths, only people who matter.
Yes.
So you would have been sending these text messages while you're watching the children. Is that right?
Hannah would have been there. KK wouldn't have been there. And my 2 kids would have been up.
And it continues on throughout that morning, 7:27.
Yes.
You're always sorry and blah, blah, nothing changes. If you really cared and really sorry, you would stop drinking and pick us. No reason to be drinking in the garage last night. Ridiculous. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then it continues on into noon, 12:29 p.m. on that same day. The simple fact is we will never make it with the shop being moved. I'm not sitting here waiting for you any longer. Seriously over it, selfish, all of you. Is that right?
Yes.
And it looks like you continue to fight at 8:21 p.m. on 3/7 with TJ. LOL, when you neglected them for years at the bar, get out of here. You no longer have control over me and the way I feel. We're going to bed. It's after 8. Sorry you work late every night. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And the last text message that you would have sent to him would have been at 8:21 p.m. on 3/7, where you said delusional. Is that right?
Yes.
Your testimony today that you were trying to protect everyone and you included Jason in that mix.
Yes, ma'am.
And Jason paid you $30, $35 a day. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And he was behind on paying you.
That was normal.
So that was normal. He was normally late on paying you.
Yeah, which was fine. I think that was even in my text messages. I'd rather you pay rent and do stuff for your girls than pay me.
And he would send Hannah to your house in dirty clothes sometimes.
Every once in a while.
Sometimes she was dirty and needed a bath.
More in the summer.
And Jason, who made you get up an hour earlier than you had to.
Didn't bother me.
But it's your testimony today, ma'am, that on 3/9, that you were willing to lose everything, your girls, your freedom, all to protect a deadbeat dad like Jason? That's your testimony today.
I didn't think he was a deadbeat dad. We were friends.
That's not my question, though. You were willing to lose everything.
No, I wasn't. I never thought I would be in trouble.
So it's your testimony today that you admitted to hurting Hannah, and you didn't think you would be in trouble.
No, I didn't. I was under the assumption that he would back me up.
So it was your thought process on 3/9 of 2018 that you could admit to poking Hannah in the chest and you wouldn't be in trouble.
Yes.
And that you could admit to squeezing her and her middle and you wouldn't be in trouble. That's your testimony.
Yes.
And that you could admit to hitting her with a closed fist multiple times under the chin and you wouldn't be in trouble.
Yes.
And that you could admit to shaking her until she lost consciousness and you wouldn't be in trouble.
Objection.
It's your testimony that on 3/9 of 2018 that you didn't know that admitting to shaking Hannah would get you in trouble.
No, I didn't think it would.
It's your testimony that on 3/9 of 2018 that you didn't know that shaking Hannah and that you didn't even know if she lost consciousness wouldn't get you in trouble.
No, I didn't think so.
You showed a bruise on your hand to Detective Hensley, did you not?
I did.
You claimed that when you fell with Hannah, you had a bruise.
Yes.
But it's your testimony today that that never happened. Why would you show them your hand?
It seemed logical at the time.
Well, walk me through that logic, Miss Parton, because you said after about an hour, you stopped telling the truth, right?
Yes.
So what was the last truthful statement you said?
I don't remember the...
So at that
exact
point,
words.
ma'am, you are now telling the detectives what they want to hear. That's been your testimony.
Yes.
And one of the things that you told the detectives was that while you were carrying Hannah, you tripped and fell. Is that right?
Yes.
And when you tripped and fell, and I think you made some comment that you tripped over her blanket or your robe, is that right?
Yes.
Those weren't details supplied by Detective Turner, right?
No.
He didn't ask you if you tripped over a blanket, right?
No.
He didn't ask you if you tripped over a robe.
No.
So your testimony, your statement to Detective Turner was that you tripped and fell while carrying Hannah and she smacked her face on that concrete step. Is that right?
Yes.
And you said, in fact, I injured my hand trying to catch myself. I managed to catch my weight, but I injured my hand. And then you showed Detective Hensley your hand to show him the bruise that you had on your hand.
Yes.
But you were just making all that up.
Making it up?
You never fell with Hannah.
No.
You never carried Hannah.
No.
You never fell and had to grab your weight, right?
No.
You never had a bruise on your hand.
There was a little one there, but it wasn't from that.
Okay, so you were showing Detective Hensley a bruise on your hand from something else?
Earlier in the week, I was in the barn feeding the dog.
So you told Detective Hensley...
She needs to be able to finish her answers.
Go ahead and finish your answer.
I was in the barn.
So you injured your hand in the barn shed, and then you told Detective Hensley, look, this is the bruise that I have from falling when I was holding Hannah.
I did.
You indicated that it was your belief you could physically discipline Hannah.
Yes.
Was it your belief, or did you think, Miss Parton, that you could poke her chest?
I don't know of.
Miss Parton, did you
There's an
think
answer
that
to that.
you could slap her across the face?
I have known other moms to do that.
That's not
so
what I'm
I
asking.
didn't think that it was an issue as a type of discipline.
That wasn't my question. My question was, it was your belief that you could physically discipline Hannah. Was it your belief that you could slap her across the face to discipline her?
Ask an answer.
It wasn't answered yet.
Yes.
Did you think then, was it your belief that you could squeeze her middle?
Yes.
Was it your belief that you could hit her on the face with an open hand?
Yes.
And was it your belief that you could hit her on the chin with a closed fist?
Yes.
And was it your belief that you could shake her?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
After 12 hours of deliberation, on April 12, 2019, the jury reached its verdict: guilty on all counts. Lindsay Parton was convicted of murder, involuntary manslaughter, 4 counts of child endangerment. On May 9th, Judge Greg Stevens sentenced her to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 8 rated at Dayton Correctional Institution. There, she participates in parenting classes, music therapy, and trains to be a mentor for other inmates. Her earliest possible release date is 2037. She hasn't seen her own daughters since her conviction. In a letter, she wrote, "I want them to know Mommy thinks about them every minute of every day and loves them to the moon and back." Her family spent more than $75,000 on appeals, all of which were denied. In March 2021, the Ohio Supreme Court refused to hear her final appeal. For Hannah's family, justice was served, but peace remains elusive. Jason founded the Hannah Strong Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting abused children. His dream is to raise $785,000 to build a healing camp for young survivors, but no amount of money can replace what was lost. The family visits Hannah's grave regularly at Rest Haven Memorial Park, lying beside the tombstone where a child should be running and laughing. Hannah Jade Wesche lived only 3 years and 2 months, but her story has touched the hearts of thousands. She survived drug withdrawal as a newborn. She endured poverty, instability, and loss. She made it through everything life threw at her, until the very person trusted to protect her broke that trust forever. Her case raises painful questions. How could an unlicensed daycare operate with no oversight? Why weren't the warning signs, the bruises, the whispered word babysitter, taken seriously? Could this have been prevented? Medical experts say yes. Such injuries can happen in seconds. And yet, some still wonder why no one stopped it sooner. But beyond the legal failures, beyond the headlines and the courtroom battles, lies a simple truth. Every child matters. Every child deserves protection, no matter where they come from or who they live with. Every child deserves to grow up. Hannah was not just another victim. She was a little girl who fought through her first days to live. A girl with a laugh that lit up rooms. A girl who asked for one more kiss from her dad, not knowing it would be the last. We owe it to Hannah and to every vulnerable child to do better, to listen, to act, to never let a child's cries go unheard.